So new facts only. We're talking Bad Boy Timz and his record label, Anonymous Music. They've been having disputes. What's really happening between the two parties?
Drama broke out some days ago when Bad Boy Timz was arrested by members of the Nigerian police force. It was posted on Instablog Nigeria with a caption that read something along the lines of "Bad Boy defrauds label and show promoters." Then a few days later, a letter originated on Anonymous Music's IG page, or what looks like Anonymous Music's IG page. Then some days later, Bad Boy Timz's camp responded. We have reported on all those things on the Pulse website. But here's what happened. We have tried to get to the crux and the meat of this matter. Both sides feel like they have reasons for or grounds to claim against each other for breach of contract. Now, on the one side, the label side, the source that we spoke with, sees that collaborations was where the problem started. On the artist side, the source that we spoke with feels like when Timz wanted to record an album was where the problem started, right? Label feels like when they wanted to record in the recording contract, which we are going to report on the Pulse website, there is no feature clause there expressly stated. But the problem is clause 16 on the contract specifically captures a wide range of things. So it's capturing when someone wants to use image, style, talent, blah 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 of the artist, they should get permission of the label. But in some of those things, the label feels like their consent was not sought when the guy wanted to collaborate with people like maybe SDK and some of these other things. Now, the problem got to a head, or even though later their consent was sought when they wanted to collaborate with Dan Dizzy and Black Bones and some other things. Problems that really got to a head when they wanted to make Ludin. Now, on the artist side, our source claims that they are not exactly authorized to get permission for the label. Label feels like they're authorized to get permission. Now the problem is, before the song was released, they reached out to the distro that the song should be taken down. Last label, a lot of these things happened underground that a lot of people didn't find out about. But things went on, and the drama has been on since then. That's the part of collaboration.
So why did they have a problem with loading that the record with Olamide, that the artist didn't seek permission from them before fit?
Yeah, like I said the other time, the contract itself does not have a feature clause. Like, it doesn't expressly state that if you want to feature this artist, then you have to come and you must get the express consent or permission of the label. But clause 16 in the contract basically captures a wide range of things which features could be a part of. So there's a lacuna in that contract. However, there's still a problem of there's a clause that captures things that look like features. That's the problem.
Also, they also had a problem with transportation in the contract. What does that mean?
Yeah, clause 5G in the contract basically states that the label will provide for transportation for the artist for all the things that he wants to do. But on the artist side, it seemed to be interpreted as the label should buy him a car. Label says we can't buy you a car. Now the problem is, label is saying that even though we are not giving you a car, everywhere you go we are giving you a G-Wagon. So why do you want us to buy you a car? We don't have to buy you a car. It doesn't state in the contract that we should buy you a car. Now there's a problem of interpretation of the clauses in the contract. Now the problem is, they are now saying that everybody is arguing. There's this the source that was supposed to say the artist considers it a breach of contract. Label says it's not a breach of contract because it was never specified.
So what about accommodation?
Clause 5E in the contract specifies that within 6 months of the signature of that contract, they were meant to get in the contract. But almost 1 year into the contract, the Timz was still living in his parents' house in Ikorodu. It was a huge problem that they needed to fix. Now, on the artist side, they feel like the artist feels like when they finally got in the house wasn't good enough. Label is saying that the source that I spoke with on the label side, label is saying that they got in the house in Lekki for Laos Shibo, that it was a decent one-room apartment and all these things. The source that I spoke on the artist side is saying that the house was no good, that the bathroom and the toilet were not in the house and all those other things. That even when they tried to record in the house, his neighbors come to complain. So it's a bunch of issues that a lot of people have not been trying to. And label also claims that when they try to speak with the artist, when they try to get the artist a house, that the artist they have 3 houses around Lekki. that they rejected all 3 artists because they belong to the label for whatever reason. Artists is saying that never happened.
So they also had a problem with royalty?
Yeah. So clause 6 of that contract specifies that they must provide the artist, that label must provide the artist with quarterly royalty reporting. Artist is saying he never got that.
Payments?
He never got quarterly royalty reports.
What about the actual payments?
The actual payments, it specifies in the contract that the artist is entitled to the net royalty payments for the net revenue that they are able to generate from royalties. But label is saying that it was not generating a lot of money, that even they had to start paying the artists like gross instead of net. Does that make sense? So instead of deducting anything, they are even paying in net of they're paying him net, they're paying him gross of all the things that they earn. They're paying him. But here's also the problem. Label also gives the guy label says they give the guy 150,000 allegedly. It's specified in the contract that must be giving him 150,000 monthly salary. It's a problem when these miscommunications keep happening and they keep piling up over time. Clause 3 of the contract specifies for a recording budget. Now, I said the other time that artist feels like the problem started when he wanted to start recording his album. Clause 5 of the contract specifies that the label should give the artist a recording budget to make his music. The source that we spoke to on the artist side is saying that he never got a recording budget for his EP and for the songs he always recorded. That anytime he wanted to record songs, the label would just demand, send in 5 songs, we'll pick in 1 song. And that's what they are saying. That they never wanted to give him a recording budget, and the artists just go frustrated. That's what we got at.
What are the lawyers saying concerning,
The lawyers have been sending things in, but where these problems really skyrocketed was when, they also had problems to shoot, right? Styling. So in the contract, it's specified somewhere that 250,000 will be set out for marketing and some other things. On label side, it's also spoke to say that they spent money for the artists to get styled for the shoots for more branches, audio mark, and some other things. Artists is saying that it's not good enough, and they are saying, and remember they had these outfits that they wore that people were criticizing. Label is saying that they only dressed like that because the artist rejected their offer. Artist is saying that never happened.
So was this the case of a bad contract?
Well, that's what the lawyers came out to say. The lawyers said, the label source that I spoke with on the label side, they said that the lawyers sent in a letter of termination. But in the contract, it's specified that the contract can only be terminated by mutual consent or mutual agreement. So was it even a bad deal? The thing here is, the question of a bad deal is subjective. In Nigerian music, before labels can make money, the deal has to be 360, because there is not a lot of money in streaming or in direct music downloads for the label to be able to sustain. And in Nigeria, it is known that before a label can blow an artist, you have to spend a hell of a lot of money, like a ton of money, on marketing, promotions, video shoots, styling, all these things. Label is saying, so for that to happen, the label has to be exploitative in a way to be able to make their money back, or even stand away to recoup what their outlay, not even return on investment now. So in this particular situation, the deal is a bit dicey because artists is still entitled to 30% of his revenue. But on the other side, he's also entitled, the contract also specifies that he's going to get his masters back after 5 years, right? So in a lot of ways, this contract seems fair. In a lot of ways, it seems fair, because you're looking at a situation where there are worse contracts that have been signed, worse contracts. But in this situation, it feels like not just a situation of breach of contract. It feels like a bunch of miscommunication, and even if there was breach of contract, it wasn't on one side. Both sides breached contracts, because when the matter got on, label says after the issue of termination and they rejected the letter of termination and all that, label says he got word that he got a deal from the UK for The source we spoke to says he got a deal from the UK worth £9,000, and he was going to meant to fly to the UK, and label was not going to get any amount of that. And he said the source we spoke to also says that Timz registered a new company called Shock Absorbers Music with his parents as directors. Labels feels aggrieved, so police went to arrest the artist, and then while they were there, but even before he was arrested, the issue that we read about in all those rejoinders and letters have been going on. Label says it had spent over 161 million on the artist. He says out of that, he spent 50 million on transportation. Artist is saying, you never bought me a car for 50 million. And on the artist side, the source we spoke to is saying that the label, instead of presenting an expenditure worth 43 million and 4.3 million, it was mistakenly inflated to 43 million. But the thing is that it's an accountant who basically went through the details and broke everything down. Now the label is saying they need an auditor. On the artist side, the artist is saying when the label needed an auditor, they said, okay, let's get you an auditor. They said the label never responded for 1 month. The label is saying that 3 million is what they reject. The label says if the auditor is not getting over 3 million, they are not interested in opening their books to that sort of auditor. When they finally got an auditor, they couldn't agree on the terms of what the auditor needed, and they couldn't open the books, and a lot of things were just going on. Now we are here with the issue of breach of contracts. We are here. What is the way out? How should they even terminate this contract? How do they even want to recoup this thing? How do they want to settle this problem? Because this is a huge problem that has been happening over and over and over again in the Nigerian music industry. This is not new. We've seen it with Kiss Daniel, Runtown, everybody else, a lot of the artists that we've seen. How do they settle it? First things first. A signed contract, if you sign the contract, you must be able to see the contract to the end. That's just the reality of things. If you signed it, you must see it till the end. But at the same time, if the terms of the contract are not being fulfilled, there is a breach of contract. Then you guys must sit to each other to either fix the problems or go your separate ways. But if you are trying to then go, oh, it's ego, is this, is that, then there are problems here and there. Problems here and there, problems here and there. In the letter that was sent that Timz's lawyer sent to the label, the letter reads that they want a public apology. They demand 250 million for what was published on BBNaija. Label is denying that it never sent anything to BBNaija. Timz's lawyers claim is defamation of character because they lied against him on BBNaija, claiming 250 million. And they said if the label fails to provide the 250 million and public apology, then it's going to result in 900 million. So label is saying that we are not, the rejoinder that label sent, label is saying that we are not scared of a lawsuit because we are ready to go to war. And they even put some proverb there, which was very, very wild. Number one, in this situation, on how to fix situations like this, that people need to understand. The artist is usually the person that suffers the most in this situation. We've had situations like this. Look at Kiss Daniel's situation. Look at Runtown. You can argue that Runtown has still not recovered from the label dispute he had. Kiss Daniel's problem still rumbles on and on and on and on. There have been allegations that some deals, some brands or distros want to be sure that they are not going to get sued if they offer him certain deals. This disrupts the bag. It disrupts brand deals. It disrupts record labels. We are living in a situation where distros are giving out tons, millions upon millions of naira or thousands of dollars. If you take this matter to a court, the Nigerian legal system is fucked. You are going to waste time. You are going to waste effort. You are going to waste money. Forget all these other things. There's front loading. There are things that you can fast track in certain states in Nigeria. But if it's liquidated money demand that's up to 100 million, yes, all those things are there. But at the same time, you can't solve this problem because you are going to be there. You are going to have to be there every time the court sits, and you're going to be paying lawyers. It doesn't make any sense. And the artist, if the label owner puts an injunction on the artist's career, what is going to happen? The label is not going to be making money. The artist is not going to be making money because egos are clashing and you guys refuse to talk. Instead of going to court, why not just go to ADR? ADR is alternative dispute resolution. You can go to arbitration or negotiation or conciliation. All these things you can do them. If you try negotiation and it doesn't work, if you try conciliation and it doesn't work, then go to arbitration, find an arbitrator. Within 3 months, the problem is solved. The language of ADR is also temporal. You don't have to be enemies when you are done. While you are there, you guys can negotiate. Okay, this is where you are wrong. This is where you are wrong. This is what we can do. This is what we can do, and be ready to make concessions to each other. If possible, go back into the contract. Agree that you are going to only release one album with the label and give them maximum push, and then you are done. All these issues, nobody wins. People need to be more sensible in artist label disputes. We have seen too much for people to not be wise at this point, and that's fact only.